stressful for our fellow nurses. That's why UPMC and 3WS want to recognize nurses during Nurses Week. This Nurses Week, nominate your favorite nurse or yourself and tell us why your week deserves an amazing getaway at Nemo.
Alright, yins guys, if they ever succeeded in banning menthol cigarettes, my mother would completely lose her shit because that's all she smokes. And any of yins guys, both black or white watching, I'm putting this snippet on because I forgot to put that up. I wanted that point to be put in the beginning of this video anyway, but any of you guys, whether both black or white or anybody watching, my mother was one of them people, you probably know somebody like that. They'll only smoke menthol cigarettes. They will not smoke Marlboros or smoke anything else. And I was making this video mostly for anybody out there that knows somebody that's all they smoke. All they smoke is menthols. They won't bum cigarettes from nobody unless it's a menthol. You know anybody like that, whether you're black or white. I wanted to put this in the very beginning of the video because I forgot that's part of my point. Along with saying why ban a menthol cigarette and legalize pot that's a narcotic that's just like beer or whiskey. If you get caught high on pot or smoking marijuana behind the wheel of a car and high, you can go to jail, you know what I mean? Which alcohol is actually legal in most places. You can still go to jail for but being under influence behind the wheel. And then when pot becomes legal, just like beer, whiskey, you go to jails. So why ban a menthol cigarette? Let people have the fucking cigarettes, you know? Alright, what's up, yins guys? Time for another video. And this subject matter, I remember like a year ago, they were talking about this subject, about possibly banning menthol cigarettes a year ago. And nothing ever happened, of course, but then now a year later, a couple times in a row, and you know, when I hear it on the TV news a couple days in a row, even a year later, I finally get around to doing a video on it, hearing about it again. And so I'm bringing up, I show you beginning of this video, a newspaper, the New York Times article, and then I'm talking about where our local TV news talked about how moronic it is. Okay, first of all, before anybody else that knows me over here on YouTube, whether you like me or not, I know already that talking about fighting inflation. So somebody that just like don't like me but finds the time to always know what I'm doing in videos and looking at my videos before they want to say I'm contradictory. I personally say about in videos I make about inflation, right? If you cannot smoke or you can quit smoking, you know, if prices of things going up, a solution. So I'm saying for that, just in case anybody tries to call her hypocrisy, you know, dumbass young punks that have something wrong with everything I say, just to clear that. But anyway, talking about the stupid idiocy and hypocrisy that I don't want to tell somebody, I don't want to deny anybody their cigarettes either, or somebody calls me on that, or marijuana or whatever, but I talked about that hypocrisy too. But when I want to talk about the marijuana hypocrisy and the cigarette hypocrisy, right? Okay, I'm trying to figure out the logic in this, you know, bear with me here, you know, I'm getting to the point. In my state, especially our lieutenant governor, or Fetterman, but they're going to get another lieutenant governor. They got ads on there, and Governor Wolf is going to be gone. Who knows who they have in there? And then I think, Lieutenant Governor Fetterman was actually pushing the legalization of recreational marijuana. And I'm talking parentheses, if you medically need it. There's other people that, hey, they just want to be able to play sick any little thing that gets them the medical marijuana card. If that's what they want to do, their choice. But okay, bearing with me here too. Well, they want to legalize recreational pot, right? And it's technically a narcotic. And just like alcohol is, if you are at a particular age and not underage, it's legal. And then say if marijuana, recreational is legal, right? If it becomes legal, that and alcohol is legal, but yet certain places you're not allowed to be drunk, like behind the wheel of the car. You can still go to jail. Okay. So marijuana is classed as narcotic unless you use the other stuff derived from marijuana, or they want to legalize recreational. They want to legalize recreational marijuana, but a menthol cigarette, it's not a narcotic. You don't get high off of it, and there's a lot of people that argue that pot recreational depend whatever the hell people are putting it. And that's a whole other stuff that you can talk about in the video. Buying pot from people you don't know what the hell they're putting into it, or I'm a firm believer, though, too, that tobacco, okay, that they're deliberately putting shit in there to get people addicted to it. And then when I was younger, I smoked to imitate Guns N' Roses, like bandana, sunglasses, and then I just outgrew it. And then when I got old enough to work or whatever, it was just a pain in the ass, workplace and people to smoke breaks and money-wise. And seeing you pack the cigarettes, I started noticing even like 20 years ago. The cigarette is looser, and then you hit and pack it. The end of the cigarette, like, there's that much paper, and they're smoldering more. The damn cigarettes are smoldering more differently. And the fact that they used to be a damn $1.25 when it used to be acceptable to your parents sit on their ass watching TV, right? And preach work ethic while they sit on their ass watching TV. And they got the car, but it was acceptable for them to make you go run and buy their cigarettes, and they used to be $1.25. Now look at them, you know what I mean? Ridiculous. People, I think they should be protesting because they're going up high. Smokers protest and try to say, oh, we're not smoking anymore, and then the companies that get you addicted say, yeah, sure, you won't quit. And then legal marijuana, I'm a firm believer they do put stuff to get everybody addicted in tobacco, right? But then when you get the legalized recreational pot, then people will say, oh, yeah, this or that. But when it's legal and they want you to buy more of it, or who knows what poisons they can put in it, knowing who you buy it from or whatever. But that's not the point. You got something they want to legalize, okay, not trashing anybody that chooses to smoke their pot or whatever. I just say don't do other things like crack or whatever. You drink too much beer at the sports bar, be careful. I don't want to see you watching this. Whether you're black or white, race isn't the issue. Whether you're black or white, whether you like me or not, I don't want to see you lose an arm or a leg in a car because behind the wheel. That's where I'm getting to, where the TV... Okay, so here's the point I'm getting to, where on our TV news, they're pandering it in the articles. Oh, they're saving a lot more black lives. And they're making the argument that okay, more black people smoke than whites, and it affects their health more. Yeah, you have to read the article yourself. I'm showing you the New York Times one. And it's hard for me to say whether more white people smoke or black people smoke. And quite frankly, not going to bash my mother on here, but I can make jokes about how white families dysfunctional. That my mother... Before she can go anywhere in a fucking car, she has to have that cigarette and light it before she can even go anywhere in a car. Then black or white comedians, okay. I'm straying from my point, but it's coming to my mind. You can say maybe white women, based on, I don't want to bash my mother, which I never talked to in 7 years, right? Or you want to say women, whether they're black or white. And in my experience is mostly women. I don't want to put color into it right now. Why do they always have to have the cigarette between their fingers and they smoke it way less, right? And then men, I'm thinking black or white men, they always, like my stepdad, for example, not to make fun of him, I'm not going to bash him on here, this is what it's not about. Okay, both black or white men, they have that personality according to their race. And, I'm not going to stereotype anybody any particular color without stereotyping my own kind. But, the male thing, whether it's black or white, have to be there with a cigarette. Because I myself, I used to imitate Guns N' Roses when I was younger, you know what I mean? And that'll make you, walking around with a cigarette in your mouth will make you sick that way, whether you're black or white male. I noticed right time because I actually, to a point where I was acting real hard like a badass and all that, where I actually, my throat hurt and I almost felt like I was going to have a heart attack once at like 18, 19 years old, and then I quit after that and when I was younger. But okay, so my point too is about people's health. My stepdad, right? He was the one, and if you're white or black watching this, I'm not going to argue the demographic more white or black people smoke. That's hard to say. Because you got the white person, the white redneck or country guy, right? How can you say, oh, it's targeting just black people? Well, the white redneck, the cowboy, the Marlboro man. And I remember back when I was younger, right? If you're still with me in this video, Gary Coleman and Different Strokes, remember they had a smoking, one particular about smoking, and I think their friend, what was the other black kid, Dudley or whatever, and the one father said, oh, you know, they got to remove one of my lungs. But anyway, Willis and Arnold there, do I look like the Marlboro man? So yeah, you had the white redneck, the Marlboro man, the ad, and then there was, remember the old magazines, Lucky Strike cigarettes, Lucky Strikes. They were marketing women, white blonde women, and then you know you got, whether it's black people you worked with or say when you're younger, or when you were younger, other black people walking by, you observe the white or black male, they have the badassery with the cigarette, right? Then the women want their own badassery or their ego with the cigarette. You had the girly ones, the gossiping hens, the white or black. I'm saying whether you're white or black, you have your stereotype. It's kind of funny, you know, make fun of ourselves, but I don't know, if you're black or white watching this, you know, in the workplace, the white or black women, the hens, yeah, always gossiping, and they always have it in their finger, or like my mother, not the basher, have to have it between your finger. They smoke it, but men, oh, right while they're driving, okay, it's always in their mouth because it's a male thing. But you got more women that are doing that in the car, but more men are doing it. But anyway, what I was getting to too is, okay, my stepdad was one of them ones that, if I'm helping him work on a car, or we were doing drywall on a ceiling, or under a car, literally under a car, he had to have the cigarette right under his mouth. You can be somebody white watching or black watching, male or female or Latino, and have like a comedian or talking about it, where, hey, some of you watching might have, I'm trying not to laugh because I'm trying not to jump cigarette. I'm trying not to jump cigarette subjects here. Jump subjects will keep you, without saying, oh, geez, get to the point. But trying to say this without laughing. I'm not here to make fun or bash any, say, my parents I never talked to in years. But if anybody, any color watching this, okay, like my stepdad and all that, this might remind you of somebody. Literally, we're working on drywall, like drywall on the ceiling, cigarette in his mouth, or helping move a couch. He's holding the couch, and we're taking upstairs. I vaguely remember a comedian on TV. He was joking about him and somebody, father. You know, have to have the cigarette in your mouth while you're moving a couch. Working under a car, me and him helping work under a car. He's under a car. Has to have the cigarette. And then I'm not making him make fun or alienate or bash him in any kind of way because it's a health concern. You know, he had a heart attack once because we're doing a chainsaw, like cutting a tree, like, not to make a whole big story and make this video any longer than it is, dragged out than it is, right? We're way back, decade or so ago, like western Pennsylvania here, a lot of us had storms, but from the remnants of Hurricane Ike. You just look up in the internet where Hurricane Ike, it was in Florida, but we had the remnants of it, right? Even people states away had trees that come down. So we had a big old tree in the yard that come down. We're chainsawing the tree, sawing things up. He has to have the cigarette in his mouth like that constantly, even while you're working. And that's where it affects you the most, your health, quite frankly, because you're always breathing it like that. And I know that firsthand because, yeah, he'd go to hospital later, he had a heart attack, and he ain't supposed to be smoking. And I had, like, say, you gotta, like, I don't want to be babysit any particular buddy's babysitter, but, or not here to bash any parents that you ever talk to, but if you're watching this, whether you're black or white, you might have known somebody that had a heart attack from smoking, right? You ain't their freaking babysitter, yet, you know, they're sneaking and smoking after that. That's a big issue. But what I'm getting at, if you got this far in this video and it wasn't too rambling, I feel I ain't no damn Aryan Nations person, or I'm not no damn BLM panderer to pandering to any racist organization or pandering to any fake anti-racist organization that's just as bad as your television preacher just wants to get millions of dollars off of people and then spend it on themselves. But anyway, like it's hard to say that it's affecting anybody, a particular race, more. I don't, or less. But yet, at the same time, there's certain things that you can read about, that all kind of health problems that more white people get than black, and then there's health problems that affect more black people than white. You can look, just Google that around. I mean, there's some of the people, because of the wokeness in that, or whatever you want to call it, they want to say, oh, it's a, and I'm not saying it's not. Yeah, it's affecting black people and white. But you can argue that, like I said, white people get this and this thing happened to them more than black people. But smoking affects anybody. But if you got this far in the video, okay, how smoking affects white people and targets black people or whatever. Like I said, it ain't targeting black people like the kiss asses are trying to. It ain't just targeting them. I'm not saying it's not targeting them. But yeah, you had the redneck ego, the Marlboro Man too, right? And whether you're white or like redneck or black, a lot of people, they want their cigarettes. They don't care if it's, some people want to quit, but they want their cigarettes. You're gonna preach on here and deny them their cigarettes, but at the same time, how can you say anybody is being like victimized as far as targeting the ads? And people that choose, they want their cigarettes, they don't care. And they all know nobody put a gun to their groin and forced them to smoke that cigarette. No. And there, like I said, there's a lot of people that want to quit. And yes, ads, they target anybody. Yeah, if you're a black, mostly black towns, yeah, they want to target you as, but yet they want to target white people too. How can they target more white people than black? They want everybody to buy the tobacco. But yeah, you don't want to say it targets more, but yes, it targets you because you're black, yes. And it targets, the ads target you if you're white and redneck too, you're Marlboro Man. And in some cases, nobody puts a gun to your groin, but it kind of encourages you and eggs you on. But yet, I'm still a firm believer that they do engineer that stuff too. It's hard for people to quit. And they'll gladly sell you these nicotine patches, right? Which they claim it's for your own good. Well, you ever priced them damn nicotine patches lately? Holy shit, Then there's people I knew that quit cold turkey. They were very irritable. Then if you got this far, the vaping devices are no better. There was stories about people getting sick and dying from the vaping devices, and if they didn't die, they were near death or got real sick. But what I was getting at, I'm going to end this video without rambling too much, if any of you guys didn't turn it off at this point. But it's like anything, like even legalized marijuana. They don't give a fuck about you. They want to make money off of you, and how do you know what people are putting in anything that you want to smoke? You know what I mean? Like I said, people used to back up a while back. Used to have people of different races maybe smoke pot and listen to a little reggae, or white rock and roller guys smoking marijuana and listening to Led Zeppelin. You know, it was kind of harmless at the time, but you know, marijuana was still illegal. But anyway, that's just too much rambling. It's not, yeah, they're not targeting anybody because they're black. A lot of these articles want to say, in a way, they are, but yeah, they're targeting white people too, and it's about getting your money. Anybody, or whether you're black or white, if you got anything out of this video, you should be thinking, well, yeah, you don't want to deny it's some people's choice, right? But at the same time, what I was getting at, if you've gotten this far in this video, is saying the prices of cigarettes, how they gone up when we were younger. There's a lot of people should be threatening to quit and protesting. You know what I mean? It's worth saying, you know, lower the price, or we're gonna quit, or whatever, or like I said too in other videos, if this inflation thing, you know, yeah, first they blamed it on COVID, now they're blaming it on Russia, with not sticking up for Russia, but they'll find any excuse. A war to Ukraine and Russia, and say the Russian and that war is over. Hopefully it is. The Russians actually didn't have to do that shit. What did they have to do that shit for? I'm not getting into that right now. Yeah, I'm saying right after it say that's eventually over, hopefully. Oh, they'll find another reason, because they don't want to part with. They don't want to lower the prices back up because everybody's too fucking greedy. And if to end this video, I said it would be something to think about if you're black or white or whoever the hell you are. If inflation gets too bad, like, try to quit and maybe buy more food and other things you want, or any other kind of items you want, or whatever the hell too. But they're trying to, whoever the fuck you are, they're trying to get your money whether you're black or white. You know what I mean? And it's like they're targeting you because you're black, yes, sometimes, but they're targeting white people too for who they are. Whether you're white or black, they're pandering to your, or catering to your ego, and to sell you the tobacco. You know what I mean? And whether you're white or black, yeah, it's going to affect your health. This black guy, it'll affect his health, the health of this black guy quicker, maybe, than this black guy, and it'll affect the health of this white guy maybe quicker than this white guy. But yet both can have an eventual heart attack, yes. But anyway, why ban a menthol cigarette and then legalize a narcotic, which you could still go to jail for being high behind the wheel of a car? Okay, you know, you could still go to jail for smoking pot behind the wheel of the car. But I'm not saying against the legalized recreational pot. I'm just making my point. Legalize a recreational narcotic, which is like alcohol. You get caught high or drunk while you're driving, you could still go to jail. Ban a menthol cigarette and create a health issue. Well, the last time I looked, okay, nobody wrecked a car because of menthol cigarette, except maybe if you ain't watching what the fuck you're doing while the car is moving and you're not at a red light just to light a cigarette. Then that menthol cigarette will kill you then, or hurt somebody behind the wheel of the car. But yet a menthol cigarette ain't narcotic. The only way you can kill or maim yourself or anybody is if you're any cigarette. And people argued also too that a lot of people I knew too argued that the menthol cigarette is therapeutic. And what I should have said in the beginning of this video too, my mother would completely lose her shit because she actually, that's all she smoked. You guys didn't know anybody that they'll only smoke menthol cigarettes? They won't smoke Marlboros or anything? But anyway, that's it for this video.